Hello, my name is Derek from Tomcat Gas Training, and today we're doing a special inside the boiler casing looking at the brand new Worcester 2000 combi boiler. So I'd just like to thank Lee Kane from Worcester giving us the opportunity to come and look at this boiler, and we've also got the training Steve stood at the background looking like a bouncer telling me where I'm going to go wrong. Okay, so this is my first look at this boiler. I've not seen it before. Tried to have a look at it effects, but you couldn't get nowhere near it because they will flies round sweets. Okay, so we've got the brochure telling us all about it, and the brochure, first thing it says is the Worcester 200 is a price competitive combi boiler suitable for apartments, small to medium sized homes and one bathroom. Okay, so this was what you would call the entry level boiler. Okay, so looks a bit still like the life and the style, like your mobile phone, so it still looks like that. So looks wise, you can't say it's an ugly boiler because it isn't. So the front panel, I believe, is kind of the same as the life. It isn't colour, it's black and white, and you notice there is a pressure gauge at the front, so this doesn't have the pressure sensor in it like the life and the style does. Okay, so we're going to take this cover off. There is two screws at the bottom, so they just undo the two screws which stay in place, and we can just lift the front off. So another Worcester where we can just take the cover off by two screws without trying to flick plastic things to open, and you can see the front has got quite a bit of insulation on there. I do believe, according to the bump, that it is the quietest boiler on the market for this range. Okay, so until you fit one you won't know that. Now the difference between the cover on this boiler and the life and the style is this is part of the combustion chamber. So if you want to remove the sides, which they are removable, there's a screw here, see any on the bottom, Steve?
No, it's got two scallops on the side.
Okay, and then there's two things down at the side here, so dead easy to get off. Okay, you can also see the expansion vessel is inside the boiler, which is, for us as gas engineers, breakdown engineers, that's the best way of doing it. You've got the Schreider valve at the front, can't ask for more than that. Okay, so if we look at the heat engine itself, the heat cell, that's it, the heat cell, it looks a lot like the one you would find in the Junior on the outside, but they've made a few changes and a few modifications to it. The first one being an extra sensor they put on there, so it shouldn't kebab now. Now, I can't think I've ever seen one myself kebabbing. Okay, but you do see a lot of them on the interweb where you see they've rippled. So that's one of the changes they've done. The other thing they've done is they've also changed the angle of the heat exchanger inside. So instead of being round, it's more on a...
The orientation,
yeah.
The way the inside's are.
So drawing more heat out?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
so
and it'll help with the modulation, with the modulation, modulating down to 1 in 6 on the 30, 1 in 5 on the 25.
Brilliant. So the other thing as well, it's still a downward burner, and it's still got the same baffles in there as well. Okay, so if you've worked on the older boilers, then you'll have no problems working on this. Now, looking at the fan, the gas valve and everything, it's completely different than what you would find in the I and the Junior. They've completely changed that, but the gas valve looks the same as the 8000. So that's one of the things they've fact. It looks like it's the same. Sit valve, that one. Okay, and they've still got the fan pressure test point. Okay, so we can still do our fan pressure testing from there. So looking at the top end, looking at as if you were looking in an I or a Junior, massive differences. Okay, looks to me pretty well made. Okay, so again, yeah, it's looks like a quality, well-built boiler like the 8000 boilers. So if you haven't seen our video on the 8000, have a look at that one. So let's have a look at the water set. Let's have a look down at the bottom. So if you come in a little bit closer, Liam. So we've got big Liam on the camera today instead of Martin. Chickened out Martin, couldn't do two in one go. You can see we've got a funny looking trap. We've still got this green plug which is allowing us to take it out again. But the trap is slightly different than what you'd normally see, and Steve tells us this is only for integral use only. If you wanted to install your condensate outside, then you have to look at protecting it from freezing. Okay, so that's one of the, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Anyway, that's for you to decide whether you like that or not, or whether they'll change that, we don't know. If we come down, Liam, and have a look at the water set itself, straight away you can see the plate to plate is easy to get on and off. It's just literally a screw here. There's one on the other side. No? Oh, it sits in. Right. Okay. So this screws, undo it, and it pull up forward to you so you can get it out. So we've now got a low water pressure sensor. Pressure relief valve is at the top here. Easy to get at, but you can see there's a flexible now. Okay. So it's on a flexible going out to the bottom. So if we look down underneath, if Liam can look down underneath, you can see the flexible pipe here, and Steve tells us you've got to use a compression fitting on there, so no soldering, and you've got to watch out for your gas connection, making sure you don't get in the way with that. So again, thinking about this all the time. Let's come back up to the top. We've got a velo pump. Is it fully modulating?
Yeah.
Yep, so fully modulating, even though it has got the dials on the front.
The selectors will give you the different pressure outputs. In the back of the manual, it gives you basically each number on the pump will give you what setting that pump's set to.
So you can manually set this up or leave it for the boiler to sort itself out. Auto air then, as you would expect. Again, composite down at the bottom end, which you pretty much expect now from most boilers to keep the weight down. And that is pretty much all you're going to find. Diverter valve right at the back there. Ooh, that might be a bit of a pain in the bum getting off.
It's not so bad.
It's not so bad, says Steve. But yeah, it's completely different though. That's one thing. This is on this side is completely different than what's in like the CDI, because the 8000 does pretty much left that old diverter valve in, where this looks completely different, completely changed. So down at the bottom it looks dead easy to work on. Okay, it looks like you bar getting that off, but I'm sure when we've had the training tonight we'll find out exactly how good it is. Again, we've still got a sensor down at here for the flue sensor, so we're not going to go over temperature. So they've kept a lot of the normal stuff you would find in a Worcester, but they've also made some massive big changes. Yeah. Now let's have a look at the pipe configuration underneath. Now me and Big Liam just saw a picture on Gas Chat before we came to hear about the pipes not being in line, okay? And the guy was whinging saying the pipes weren't in line. I don't know whether he had a pipe bender or not, but we'll have a look. So if Liam comes in and has a look underneath, if he can see here, we might have to come on the side where I am. So if we come here, can you see it? So the return and the flow aren't in line with the hot, the gas and the cold. They're staggered forward. Okay, they're about, yeah, the end of the thread here is the back of the thread of this one. So it's the full 25-30 mil further forward. Okay, now the valves themselves are straight down. So that's the return one. And you can now see where the valve comes, and whether you have to put double offsets or whether you do a pipe bender. It probably look neater with M&F elbows because I reckon it'll fit. So, and then if we put the cold on, you can see now as well, once I get this cold on, that we can still use the built-in Worcester filling loop, which doesn't come with this boiler. You'd have to pay extra for that, but at least they've left those connections in for you, which I would be looking at buying that straight away, because it'd be up out of the way. You can't use the automatic filling loop like you can on the 8000 Lifestyle, because the program isn't there for that. But you could actually use, like Steve said before, if you've got a spare one from a Life or a Style, you could use it on this one without buying another one. So pipes coming straight down, which is unusual from Worcester. You normally get them going horizontal rather than straight down. So I don't know, probably, again, it looks quality, well built. Let's get the gas connection on, if I can get my fat fingers in. Being left-handed is not a good idea when you're putting that in. Okay, so that's gone on. Obviously when you're doing this, you'd be right in front of the boiler. So that looks, and then your hot water connection, easy enough. Obviously there's no valves or anything on that one. And then we've got the flow. Ooh, what's the big plug for, Dave? Steve, sorry, Dave's the other one.
Oh, to be sure, mate.
So we've got some kind of big plug on that one. All right, because it's the same valve, isn't it? Yeah. So that's got the tail in, so there's no difference in the valves. So basically they've plugged that on. You could put a pressure gauge in there. Or a drain. What, a drain? Not that you want to drain the top of the boiler.
The drain off, by the way, is next to you, right?
Yeah, I know, I was just going to say that. God, how hard is it to screw with your right hand?
And then you're left-handed.
Is that on? No, it's there. And you can't see what you're doing. We'll edit this bit out. Okay, so now you can see the drain is here. So the built-in drain is here. You can see there's a bit, well, kind of the flexible pipe there. Other than that, your wire connections can go straight in, and then you have to remove these little fancy bits from the side before you can take the cover off. So the actual pipe connections, going straight down. If they were in line, I think that would look quite good for a Worcester. Not that I was worried about the old Worcester valves, but being offset, I don't think it'd be a bit of a problem, because I can use a pipe bender. Well, I hope I can anyway. So again, they look quality pieces of brass. They don't look cheap. The valves are the usual standard, so they're not going to leak after a few years, hopefully. So that's a quick look underneath. Anything else?
Just, I think it's just worth noting the PRV connection.
Yeah.
You don't foul on the gas pipe, but I think
that's it, we've mentioned that, yeah. So other than that, yeah. Again, look dead easy to tighten on because they're staggered. So you get your spanner in there, no problem. Unlike some boilers. And they look really firmly put in as well. So you could probably swing on them and they wouldn't, you know, you're not going to damage anything inside. So that's a look at the valve set. So let's talk controls. So on the control side, Lee tells me, and Steve also tells me as well, you cannot fit anybody else's controls to this boiler. Now straight out the box, this comes with the Comfort 2 RF, and this is that little key. If you see the 8000 video we've done, we didn't have a key with us. So I'm a big lover, a big believer of, when you're buying controls for a boiler, you buy the manufacturer's controls. Don't care whose boiler it is, okay? You should be buying the controls sold by the manufacturer, because they've done it for a reason. The boiler will talk to the controls will operate the boiler at its most efficient. You go stick in a hive or a nest, which you can't do on this boiler, it's just going to be turning on and off. It's not going to be modulating properly. It's not going to be getting the efficiency. So always, no matter what boiler you fit, always fit the manufacturer's controls, because they are amazing. Okay, so I love this little key, little plug thing. So Liam, if you come back in, is it that way? Yes. So you can see Worcester facing you at the front, and it goes in a slot here. Okay, so you can see the slot there where it goes into. And that's basically it. no wiring, it's done for you. And if you want to take it out, you have to press the button in.
There's a little lock.
Oh yeah, there's a little green lock there.
In place of the little, so kids can't
Yeah,
pull it out.
and then there's a, so you can see that. So basically there's a lock, so you can put it in and pull the green lock, because if it's green you can play with it. And if you want to undo it, do that and it pulls out. How easy is that? Okay, amazing, amazing. So basically you're wiring it in with the fly lead already here, and then setting it up. And I bet it helps you setting it up as well, which we'll find out later on. Okay, so first look in this boiler. It looks amazingly well made. Okay, will you slice your fingers? No, because they kind of
Feel that
they've rounded everything off now.
it's a Dutch fold.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably cost a fortune to do that, but like the 8000, and I thought the 8000 there was no way you're going to slice your fingers off with that one. This one looks exactly the same. It's can't be made in England. This, it's got to be made in Germany.
Very plant toilet across.
Because if it was made in England, it'd be shocking. No, I'm only joking. Right, so all in all, for me, first look on this. Obviously, not fitted one yet, not seen one working. They say it's the quietest boiler on the market. Obviously, we're not going to hear one tonight. So if anybody can say, put a comment down below and tell us whether you think it is noisy or not. As a entry boiler in a small apartment or a small house, then you're looking at a quality, well-made boiler. Again, warranties 5 years out of the box.
5 years, 6 with the filter.
6 with the filter, and if you're accredited installer,
Across the board.
across the board, amazing. About time too. So that's a good thing for us guys who aren't accredited Worcester installers, that you're getting exactly the same. So 6 years for a quality, well-made boiler by the looks of it. So that's an overview inside. Have we missed anything, Steve?
No, just flue lengths are now a bit longer. So again, that reworking of the heat cell core, that allows you flue lengths 9 meters, horizontal 12 meters.
Okay, and does this come with just a standard white flue?
Condensed tube flue, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a normal standard white flue, yeah, because everything's white other than the 8000, which is silver on the side. So let us know in the comments below what you think of it from what we've just shown you. We're going to be listening to the guys talking about it now in the other room. So keep watching. Let's find out what Worcester have to say about their new entry boiler. Cheers. Now, during the presentation, a few of the things we found out about this boiler are it's only available in natural gas. There is no LPG version available, not even a conversion kit, and there's also no standoff bracket or jig for it. It condensates in hot water mode as well, which is, they say, the only boiler in this range on the market that is able to do that. And it is able to modulate down to as little as 4.8 kilowatts, so it makes it great for small apartments, and it has a 35-degree water temperature rise on the hot water, and like we said with the controls, it automatically comes out of the box at the moment. Boiler Plus compatible with this Green Star Comfort 2. How long that's going to stay in the box, they weren't quite sure. So that's more information we found out about this boiler during the presentation. Now, that was our look at the brand new Worcester 2000 range of boilers. So again, I'd just like to thank Lee Kane again from Worcester for inviting us to have a look at the boiler, and all the other guys at Worcester who entertained us really well last night. So thanks a lot, guys, for that. So if you've liked this video, why don't you give us a thumbs up or leave a constructive comment down below. If you've not subscribed to our channel yet, then get subscribing, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because we release new videos every Wednesday. We've also done a review on the Worcester 8000 boiler if you haven't seen that, so hopefully I can manage to put a link somewhere so you can have a look at that too. So last thing to say, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, see you next Wednesday for the next video. Cheers guys.